valuable insights that we heard about AI in the past 1.5 days into real-world application for a company that is 3 years old, where it started with assumptions, hypotheses, and then we have seen the results. So just to give you some business insight, there are two key aspects that we are going to discuss. First one are merchants, and merchants are businesses that are transacting on a daily basis. And there are couriers, which are the shipping companies available in the Saudi market. And not all shipping companies, only last mile, which delivers the parcel to your doorstep. So a little bit of the history about the industry. In 2017, there were only 16 licensed companies in Saudi Arabia. And due to some regulation changes, the number jumped by 10x in 2022. So what that did, I think the clicker is not responding as it should. So what that did, it created chaos in the market, where there are 160 new companies are looking for the demand, instead of the merchants are looking for the suppliers, which are the shipping companies. So the shipping companies faced many problems entering the market. There is high competition. It's a huge number of new companies entering at the same time. The operational costs are compounding month over month, so they have to drive volumes very fast in order to be breaking even or even profitable. And then there are challenges for merchants from the merchant perspective. So now today they have 160 new choices to consider in their selection process. It's very hectic. There are a lot of technical terminologies in the logistic domain where not every business owner can understand easily. So let me give you an example. If there is a shipment that is going from Riyadh to Jeddah, which is approximately 10 hours by road or 2 hours by airplane. And we put for this example a fashion item that is the size 20 centimeters and 14 kgs box. So if we take the courier one, they consider Jeddah as a main city, and the base price for it is 12 Saudi riyals, but they charge this amount for the first 10 kgs only. Then they will be charging additional 2 riyals per additional kg, and the total will be 20 Saudi riyals. Another company will be considering Jeddah as a second-tier city, and their base price is based on the first 15 kgs. And therefore, even though it is 14 kg shipment, it will fall under the bracket of 15 Saudi riyals. Now imagine that merchants like retail stores or fashion brands, they have to ship 200 or 300 shipments per day. They cannot do this comparison for each and every single order available on their e-commerce platforms. So what we did, we came up with طرود, which is a shipping management platform. And what it will do, it's an API integration. It will sync all the orders from the e-commerce side. It will digest the information available within the shipment details, the sender details, the recipient details, and then it will give a recommendation for the best fit shipping partner in Saudi Arabia. Now, key attributes that we were taking, it was the normal web application development stack, MySQL, relational database, etc. And then we will take the package dimensions, weight, items, item contents, and then we will get the information. It's very easy for the users, even though if they are not very technical, they can just sign up, integrate their e-commerce using their credentials, and then they can start using the service. Tons of benefits. It's a single integration. It gives a direct 40% saving on the actual price if they go directly working with shipping companies. So how it works behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, what happened after a year of operation, we have signed up more than 1,000 merchants, which is enough sample to explore and see the trends and to understand how can we optimize for the merchant side even more. We shipped 200,000 shipments in the first few months, and 65 out of 200 shipping companies actually delivered those shipments. So there is a long tail list of companies that couldn't reach to any volume. Now, what were our assumptions initially? That merchants are driven by price. So the better the price, the more likelihood that they will be shipping a shipment with a specific courier. We thought that they are looking for speed, so we need to invest in the on-demand delivery, which is 2 hours delivery. And we thought that increasing the number of service providers and different shipping methods like cold shipping, temperature controlled shipping will add value as well to the platform. And to an extent, we were wrong. When we looked at the data after 6 months of operation, we saw that the merchants are shipping with the companies that they know before the new regulation, which are the original 16 shipping companies. And they had reasoning for that. It's difficult to trust valuable items with a new brand name shipping courier. And the demand side, their end consumer, when they select on the checkout page, they tend to select the shipping options that they are familiar with. So what we did, we decided that we will set goals, and we don't want to invest in pushing in the sales a lot. Rather than that, we want to change the behavior of our merchants, and we want to give opportunity to the new shipping companies in the market. So we want to help them really select with informed information. So we embedded a recommender engine called GORS. Reason is very simple. It's very well documented. It's fast to implement. There is the learning of it is very fast. And we wanted to give our merchants recommendations based on 3 things. Their behavior, so how frequently they ship, how many shipments per day, at what time of the day they are printing the shipping labels, which aligns with the shipping company's cutoff time to collect the shipments in a single day. Also, we looked at the parcel attributes, so now we know that certain merchant is selling glass items or valuable items. They tend to ship with certain companies, or they have to use some specific packaging supply. And based on that, based on our recommendations, they started diversifying their selection for the shipping companies. There was improving in the packaging, as we were recommending to them, you have to package this item in a plastic bag instead of a box. It will save you this amount, and it will be more convenient for the shipping company to handle this shipment on the way. And then 1 year later, we wanted to optimize for the time of delivery as well. So we used a time series forecasting called Facebook Profit, and what it does, it is an additive regression model. It looks at some seasonality trends and patterns in the data sets. And what it does, it will give you a prediction on what could happen next. And how we utilize it, we looked at the data for the performance of the shipping companies. And if they say in their service level agreement that we deliver from Riyadh to Jeddah in 4 to 5, companies actually deliver to Jeddah in 48 hours, which is very promising, and it incentivizes the merchants to select that shipping company. Now, once we did that, what has happened? There was higher success rate. And how we measure success rate, how many total shipments delivered to the end consumer out of the total shipments that are shipped through the system. Therefore, the shipments are delivering fast, so the merchant, the end consumer, will receive the shipment. Usually, if it's an impulse purchase, they just don't receive it, and it will be returned to the origin. So here's a look at the numbers. These are real numbers, by the way. Our Q1 to Q4 of 2023 and our Q1 alone of 2024 surpass all of 2023. Nothing changed in marketing, nothing changed in sales. Only tweaks to optimize at the shipping side and at the merchant side. And that's it for طرود. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much for your insightful presentations. I would like now to invite Dr. Richie to the stage so we can initiate the Q&A session. We can take questions now from the audience. If you have any question, please raise your hand and a mic will be given to you. We have one here. Can we have a mic on the stage, please?
Thank you very much for these two very, very interesting talks and very insightful ones as well. I think both of your talks clearly showed that when we talk about AI in organizations, the path is made by walking, right? We cannot really see what will be, you know, the right solution in a year's time or in 2 years' time. Rather, it's like a constant experimenting or, you know, playing around with the technology and see what is happening. And especially in the second talk, right? I think you clearly showed that you had a couple of assumptions, but then you need to revise them because they were not compatible with reality. Now, that I think is easier said than done often. You have sunk costs, you have certain, you know, you want to believe that certain ideas will work because that's what has been agreed on in strategy meetings. So how do you deal with these things? How do you deal with situations where you're like, oh, we thought it should be like this, but actually it's like this? Does that come easily in your organization, or what's the situation?
So I think from a startup perspective, it's very dynamic and agile to move fast, especially in SaaS technology companies where the decision making is faster, and then the trial and error doesn't hurt as much as in larger organizations.
Maybe I can also add on the question. I hear out of your question that you're also asking this exploration, is it worth it, the efforts a little bit, or like how much do you invest in exploring, and where do you say now we also have to scale and pick those solutions that actually bring the value? And that's what we exactly do. So we have different approaches. Yes, we're a large organization, founded in 1860, so quite a while on the market, but we also collaborate a lot with startups, with universities. We do have one of our offices or teams at the EPFL in Lausanne. There's another team from ETH Zurich that is now again on our campus right now in Uzwil that does rapid prototyping, not solely in the field of AI, but also in evaluating are there alternative materials to produce our machines. So what they do is they have an idea, they get those ideas from the markets and the regions, they pick those up, they find the coolest, they work on them within 2 weeks. If they get to a result, they're like, okay, now R&D team, look, does it make sense or not? So we do have a little bit of both, this startup mindset ingrained in the organization, also with the help of partners. And then, of course, we also need to evaluate which are those solutions that we can now scale and take the value out.
Thanks.
There is a question here on the right. Right there, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Suleiman from Ghana. From the second speaker, I think he made an interesting point based on the assumptions the company made before they work towards it. Now, my question is this. You know, in marketing, consumer preference is not static. You know, it varies with respect to time. Now, in determining the reality based on your assumption, did you actually factor the fact that a time will come when consumers will not like to patronize your product based on the fact that perhaps they feel they are satisfied or they are okay with your service, they must try other providers as well? Then again, my second question too is that I could see you were projecting, you know, some interesting figures. Could it be that there's some bias in your algorithm just to give us a nice picture of how your company is doing? Is it also a case of some bias algorithm? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for bringing up these two questions. So regarding the selection of the shipping companies and regarding the consumer behavior or user behavior on our system, usually people have their own bias as well. They have their own perception of a brand or for the company that are working with. And here we have to tackle this challenge at two levels. If the merchant is exposing the option of different shipping carriers on their website, then we have another layer of preference to be made, and that could be different than the merchant preference and our preference. So there is an option to give the shipping options as a black box, and you just select the speed or the service type that you would like to have, and based on that, we will give you the selection based on our recommendation as per the system.
We can take the question from that side, please.
Hello, I'm Mahiba. My question is that you mentioned during the lecture about the services, Bowler, ChatGPT, and Claire, and use of predictive maintenance and chocolate lines. So, were there any challenges that Bowler faced in integrating AI in these upcoming services? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, and nice to meet you again. Of course, there are always challenges, and it's always a learning path. And yeah, I mean, if it comes to, let's say, the Bühler, or maybe I can make the example with the service that is actually not used, the Chat2 manual. So one challenge there is you have the manuals, you have a model, and now you want the model to retrieve the right information for the question you have. And the challenge we had, those manuals, these are huge PDF documents. In the PDF documents, you have tables, and in those tables, you have drawings. And those drawings then indicate where this button could potentially be that you need to push. So in the beginning, when we set up the model in the first iteration, we actually developed that solution during a hackathon. The accuracy rate was not so, let's say, overwhelming. Then we looked into why this is the case, which had a lot to do with the slicing of the documents. So we had to readjust and find the perfect or good enough balance such that the responses would be accurate enough. And of course, also when, for example, it comes to the service Claire, there you still need the expertise to interpret the summary that you get, such that then you can act on certain complaints that you may potentially receive from customers. So there are always challenges, but having challenges, facing challenges also means that you learn, and this is what we try to learn, but then also share those learnings within the organization that we can build on them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. This question is specifically for Tarud. The innovation is very amazing. I like it, but I was intrigued by the merchant claims. So, if I'm a merchant, I have claims. Does it go to you as a Tarud or the shipping companies? Lost item, damaged items, or whatever. So, how this is being handled?
Okay, thank you very much for the question, and that give me a sensation that you are a potential customer on Trud. Very deep question. Actually, Mr. Faisal on your left-hand side is the co-founder of Trud as well. So probably you can exchange business cards. However, coming back to your question, actually, we hold the responsibility in dealing with the merchant as much as they ship through our technology, and what we call it Trud contracts. So as long as the contract is between the shipping company and Trud, then we hold the responsibility, and we do process the claims for loss and damage items. It doesn't make more than 0.6% in a year time, but sometimes it's very valuable items, and compensation for it require dedicated budgets. However, we have also another option, which is called Bring Your Own Contract, where you can utilize our platform for tracking and for printing the shipping label and managing the orders, but you will hold the responsibility to communicate with the operations teams of the shipping company.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karina and Mr. Ammar, for your valuable time and informative sessions, and also the Q&A session.